Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee and Headline. This is our morning get-together live here on Facebook, where we take a look at our news, and we take a look at your comments, and we take a look at your ideas and your questions and your suggestions, and we pick the best we can find, and we put it to good use as we try to have a more connected life here in Puerto Vallarta as a community of English-speaking locals. Today is Tuesday, April 5th. Semana Santa is getting closer and closer. The Insurgentes Bridge is getting closer and closer, and I am just happy to stay at home as much as I can. I don't know what to tell you other than that. Actually, I know what to tell you. I can tell you that if you are new to our broadcast, please help us by letting us know that you are new. If you write the word new in your comment, we will be so very happy to give you a nice little welcome. If you have something really important that you wish to say or ask about, like Amiga Luisa has done here, she has added a capital Q to the beginning of her comment. Any street tour guide who also knows about non-touristy areas. There you go. So if you have something important to ask, and you want us to bring it up in conversation, please add a capital Q. Today, we have all kinds of interesting news, and we have a couple of news items that we just can't explain, but we have to put them out there just because that's what we do. So let's get started. We'll go through the news, then the weather, then your comments, and then we will continue schwitzing because it's gotten warmer and warmer. And it's just the beginning of the heat season. Details have been published about the COVID vaccination campaign that we announced yesterday and that begins today. As we reported, it is essentially the same campaign as last week, with first and second and booster AstraZeneca shots available for those that need them. The campaign begins today and continues through Thursday. The only difference between this campaign and last week's is that the schedule was modified to begin at 11 a.m. and conclude at 6:30 p.m. It is worth mentioning that if you need a booster shot and your previous vaccines were a different brand, the AstraZeneca vaccine is perfectly fine as a booster shot. Now we have Nayarit Governor Miguel Ángel Navarro visited Bahía de Banderas, and during his visit, he mentioned the unfinished Federacion bridge that connects his state with Jalisco, stating that it is fundamental for the population, promising to lobby for federal resources for its completion. You may recall that we mentioned this bridge a few days ago because Governor Alfaro, our state's governor, was asked about it, and Governor Alfaro essentially said, well, this is in the hands of Nayarit. In fact, it was back in 2019 that state government signed on the dotted line to manage resources for this very important project. And back then, it was indeed agreed that Nayarit would spearhead the project. Then 3 years went by, and a new administration came to the state of Nayarit and went, and here we are, still without a bridge. And just as a reminder, I'm going to show you on the map where this bridge is and why it is important. So let's see, let me zoom out. There's Puerto Vallarta, there's our airport, there's the border between Nayarit and Jalisco, and somewhere in here, let's see, yes, there we go, I can see it. See this intersection here that leads to nowhere? Well, this intersection here that leads to nowhere is supposed to connect with this crazy intersection that leads to nowhere. And if I put on the satellite view, you will be better able to appreciate what's going on. See, there is the street on, or the avenue actually, on Jalisco's side, which just sort of stops there and doesn't continue anywhere. This is Federacion Avenue. And on the Nayarit side, here's the state border, you see this fabulous two-lane avenue that looks unfinished from the satellite view, and it just sort of ends, just like budget ends and money ends. And why is this avenue important? Well, think about it this way. There's shitloads of car and vehicle traffic coming south, and it is expected that once the highway from Guadalajara is completed, our main entrance road will not be sufficient to handle all the traffic that we get. So this new bridge is one of several that have been thought of that would help alleviate that traffic. But again, our governments seem to be throwing balls at one another, both for the Guadalajara bridge and also for the Guadalajara road, and also for this Federacion bridge, as to where and when they're going to be completed. But I just figured I'd give you a little bit of context as to why this is important. Moving right along, if you are a restaurant owner and are having a difficult time recruiting staff, apparently you are not alone. Or looking at things from a different angle, if you are not getting the quality of service you are used to at local restaurants, it is quite possible that they are understaffed. According to Jorge Luis Carvajal, who oversees the restaurant chamber in town, the staffing problem is alarming. Carvajal stated that the lack of personnel has to do with the opening of new hotels and the challenges brought forth by the pandemic. But then, on the same day, the same news source, that would be Vallarta Opina, publishes another news item, this one from the Puerto Vallarta Hotel Motel Association, stating that there are around 5,000 jobs available in local hotels and other businesses. So restaurants don't have employees, hotels don't have employees. Where are the employees? The challenge seems to be finding qualified staff, and particularly this time of year when Semana Santa is around the corner and our destination foresees the arrival of thousands of tourists. Interestingly enough, though, neither article broached the subject of salaries and whether all these job openings available in local restaurants and hotels are offering good salaries or not. And now, just a little love note from our friends at CEAPAL, indicating that there will be a water shortage in Colonia Emiliano Zapata today, starting at 9 a.m. and continuing until 5 p.m. because they are fixing some pipes. What do you know? So if you go number one, don't flush. Lastly, and as expected, if you want to ruffle the feathers of a beach tourism destination, all you have to do is comment on the quality of water at its beaches. Yesterday, we mentioned that a local researcher from the Guadalajara University stated that the water at Los Muertos and Marina Vallarta beaches could become unfit for swimming by Semana Santa. And yesterday, throughout the afternoon and early this morning, A good half dozen news sources contradicted those news with statement that came from state level saying that the beaches are completely safe and the water is completely swimmable. I'm going to spare you the back and forth of all these headlines, and I'm still going to favor a dip in the pool instead of a tentative caca swim. I don't know about you, but no caca water for me, no ocean swimming for me, at least not locally. And now let's take a look at the weather forecast. Elon Musk didn't like my Elon Musk jokes, so he bought a controlling interest in my company. Our snarky weather gets snarky, and of course, comments on the fact that Elon Musk went ahead and purchased a huge percentage of Twitter stock. I don't know what he's up to. He hasn't returned my phone calls. Dios mío, 23 degrees right now, but humidity is at 60%. It is hot and humid. Our temperature in Fahrenheit degrees is 73, and our weather forecast for today calls for a clear day, a high temperature of 29, low of 17, and Wednesday, partly cloudy tomorrow with a high of 29, a low of 18. And then on Thursday, also a partly cloudy day with a high of 31, a low temperature of 19. Moving right along, let's see what else we put together for you. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, yes. This is neither interesting or neither not, I think. Some of you may recall that last year a bridge was completed connecting Río Tiber St in Fluvial with Montessori Avenue with the purpose of alleviating traffic in the Aramara area. At the time, Fluvial residents were happy to be able to leave their whereabouts through the new street, in effect using it to go out our one way. But the local government had other ideas. The street was marked to be a two-way street. So Fluvial residents got all frumpy and decided to take matters in their own hands because they figured we want to be able to leave through this new bridge, but we don't want outside vehicles to be able to enter our turf so easily. So at the time, the local government intervened, but things have gotten only worse. The latest is that the residents along this street pitched in to have their own makeshift speed bumps installed, in quite a few of them, along the street to discourage people from using it. Oh, and they put planters in the middle of the street, like that, so that you don't think that you are welcome to enter the neighborhood through that particular street. So we know that our local government is far from perfect, but what do we do with all this anarchy that is brewing? Well, I don't know what we do, but one thing that we can do is we can go to Guadalajara, of course, where tickets for the Van Gogh Immersive experience finally went on sale. The show will be available for viewing starting tomorrow and continuing until July 6th. Why tickets only went on sale today when the show starts being available tomorrow is one of those mysteries, isn't it? The show will be available starting tomorrow and continuing until July 6th. Tickets are available on their website and range from 100 pesos per person for only the virtual experience, 250 pesos for all the other exhibition halls, and a VIP 330 peso ticket for everything. That's about half the cost of watching Mamma Mia locally. The exhibition will be open from 9 a.m. till 9 p.m. with access every 30 minutes. And if Van Gogh is not your cup of tea, you can go to Mexico City, where a replica of the Sixtine Chapel is being erected in the Zócalo. And starting on April 19th, you will be able to experience the inside of the famous church without having to fly to the Vatican. And yes, entrance for this replica will be completely free. And that's what we have for today. Before we get into our comments, I see that Kathleen is here. And Kathleen just posted the most fantastic account. Well, let me see what this is about. There are some places around Old Town and Centro 5 de Diciembre. Oh, this is about a question that I saw earlier as to where people are living. We'll get into that in a second. But Kathleen, God bless you, Kathleen, for your patience. Apparently, Kathleen has been in the process of trying to verify her location of one of her new stores through Google in order to be able to appear on Google Maps for 2 years. And the only way Google lets you do this is by sending you a postcard. Well, we know what it's like to have to rely on Mexican postal services. And apparently it's taken Kathleen 2 years to receive a postcard from the United States from Google so that she could verify that she indeed exists. And she finally was able to complete this small but very important bureaucratic process. Mazel tov. Mazel tov. And have I mentioned that Lick's ice cream is like the best ice cream in the city? And that Kathleen is absolutely wonderful, and that Todd is absolutely sexy. They are the sweetest human beings you could ever possibly meet in this city. And now let's take a look at the rest of your comments. Lots of good mornings. As always, it is a pleasure to read you. Let's see. Rod is going through withdrawal. Can't wait to get back home to Bucerias after traveling to Texas for 3 weeks. Ooh. Let's see what else. Sunny Cinco. What on earth is Sunny Cinco? I have no idea, but good morning back to you. Let's see what else we have. We put this one up earlier, but let's put it up again. Any street tour guide who also knows about non-touristy areas sounds like someone is looking for a place to live. I love it. Let's see what else we have. We have arrived home from cold, snowy Hamilton, Ontario, and watching live, coffee in hand. Good for you, John. Enjoy your stay. Let's see what else. The new bridge would be great to take the traffic pressure off the Highway 200 traffic, which is getting worse and worse. Oh, Harold, I don't drive nearly as much as I used to. I don't get around as much as I used to. But yes, it doesn't take a lot to appreciate how traffic around the city has gotten really, really bad. And of course, with Semana Santa and Semana de Pascua coming up, the last thing I want is to be out and about if I can help it. And that's a great rumor. I think Nayarit is going to need more than just one catapult to be able to help us out with, there you go, boing. We love our catapult. Well, I love our catapult. I'd love to see some tourists actually using it. Jill asks, where can potential employees live? Affordable housing is disappearing in favor of ugly condos close to the jobs. Oh, Jill, this is just a friendly reminder that Puerto Vallarta is a huge city. And of course, this is part of the problem with gentrification. In order to be able to find affordable housing, you have to get further and further and further away from a potential place of employment, which means that you have to rely on vehicles or on public transportation. But there is affordable housing in the city. It's just getting further and further away from areas that you may be familiar with. Let's see what else. Lisa says, buying my ticket right after the broadcast. If you're mentioning the Van Gogh, yes, I think I'm going to start putting my finger on a date. I want to go to Guadalajara. I really do. Let's see. And Kathleen comments on her Google situation. They finally let me use our business account. I love it. 2.5 years. Well, there was something that I needed to. Oh, yes, of course. When I started being able to make money from the YouTube videos, when I started being able to monetize my YouTube videos, I went through a similar situation. I had to wait for YouTube to send me, well, YouTube or Google are essentially the same company, I suppose. I had to wait. Are they the same company? No, Google AdSense is who had to send me a piece of mail so that I could type in a confirmation number. And I had to wait a couple of months to be able to do that. Let's see. Oh, well. Oh, okay. Sue, who lives in that neighborhood, explains, we were given permission to put speed bumps in our neighborhood by the city and Fluvial as long as we pay for them ourselves. We are not trying to keep people from driving through our area. We just want them to slow down and follow the one-way streets that are in our neighborhood. I understand that. I don't take sides on this one, Sue. My only concern, and of course the news source could be wrong. The news source implied that residents took matters in their own hands. So if you're telling us that you were actually given permission in writing, formal, from the city to put speed bumps in your neighborhood, well, good for you, but speed bumps? Seriously? Ooh, I'm glad that I don't have to deal with this, and I wish you good luck with your vehicle situation. Let's see what else we have. Da, 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 da. Nice comments from Ramona. I have experienced this marvelous exhibit in my hometown of Detroit. I've heard wonderful things about it from many, many people that have seen it in many different places. I am just grateful that is coming to a city near us. Mark asks, are you crocheting baby blankets for the local hospitals? No, I'm crocheting things for myself because I'm a selfish bitch. Let's see and for my friends. That's what I do. I crochet gifts for my friends, and I crochet things for myself. If I found that there is a local hospital that is looking for blankets, I might be willing and able to do that. But for the most part, I crochet for myself. Let's see what else. I had many close calls when I lived in Fluvial, so few pay attention to the one-way streets or stop signs. Well, it is true. It is absolutely true. I'm not saying that drivers are responsible in the way they drive. I've seen people like speed the hell through streets in Versailles, and that is just unfortunate. I think wherever everyone goes, one needs to be mindful of this. But I simply wonder whether putting speed bumps everywhere is the best solution to the problem. I mean, they do hurt cars after a while. Let's see. Don't mind speed bumps as long as they're painted. Some are so high that your ears pop when going over them. That has happened to me. When there's the road that goes to San Sebastian, there's a bunch of speed bumps on the highway that are not painted. They're put by business people along the highway so that you'll slow down your vehicle and maybe, just maybe be inclined to stop and buy things and chingaderas from those businesses. But they're not painted, and many cars have flown away because of those speed bumps. Anyhow, this is what we have for today. Amiga Luisa says self-crochet. Absolutely. Kathleen asks, did all the whales leave? I believe end of season is March, and I haven't seen any lately. We did mention a few days ago that whale watching season was officially over, and that there were probably still a few whales hanging around, just commenting on the whole situation. But I would imagine they are all gone. Someone has put new speed bumps on Maria Montessori all the way up and down at unmarked places. This is the same neighbors. Well, I don't know if it's the same people as Fluvial, but the articles are referencing speed bumps along Maria Montessori and the continuation street, Río Tiber. And but hey, somebody has said that the government said you can do whatever you want. So if that is the case, what are we to do? Raymond, thank you, Raymond. What a great way to wrap things up. Nothing better than a Raymond pun. Raymond heard that the whales had a whale of a time. And that's exactly what I'm hoping to have the rest of this week. I have yarn, I have food, I have Netflix, I have wine, I have, oh my God, I have Whiskey Kitchen. Do you know how dangerous it's going to be to have a nice watering hole just around the corner? We were there last night again, and I have to report that there is pineapple in the house, which means that the pineapple sangria is back. Yay. So, this is Coffee and Headlines for today. I hope you have a great day. I hope to see you again tomorrow. And I hope you'll stay kind, stay happy, stay healthy, stay cautious when you cross the street, and watch out for those crazy drivers out there. See you soon.